It's great to have you today, Stella. Are you there? Yes, you are. Welcome, Stella.
Hi, Matt. How are you?
Very well, thank you. We are so grateful to you for sharing today, and I'm really looking forward to taking lots of notes and learning from you. Stella, let me hand over to you for your session.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Matt, and hello to everybody who's tuned in today. As Matt said, I've literally just come back to the UK after spending 2.5 years in beautiful Oman, which is in the Middle East. So I came back last Saturday, so I'm still in the middle of unpacking, but I couldn't resist coming to deliver on LinkedIn with Matt and the rest of you. So I'm just going to hopefully get onto my screen. And Matt, can you confirm that everybody can see the screen?
Yep, all good.
Excellent. So we're going to begin. Just bear with me. So, hello everyone, and today I'm just going to talk about keeping it Stellaliciously simple on LinkedIn. That is actually my hashtag. My hashtag is #Stellalicious, and I'm all about keeping it Stellaliciously simple on LinkedIn. And I'm going to talk about just tips to whatever your intentions are on LinkedIn. Now, it's the start of the new year here and everywhere in the world, obviously. And we have millions of people who are going to go on LinkedIn, but so many just won't have a clue about what the platform is all about. And the first thing I normally say to my clients is this: what are your intentions? What is the reason why you want to go on LinkedIn? Are you going to grow a network? Are you going on LinkedIn to generate leads? Are you there to land a job? Do you want to be a thought leader, or do you actually want to be an influencer? So that is one of the first few things that I start talking or engaging with my clients in terms of what their intentions are when they're going onto LinkedIn. So a bit of a story now. Let me give you a story time. Let us begin with my LinkedIn journey, okay? Because it will give you an idea of what your intentions are going to be. So I came back on, I actually registered on LinkedIn way back in 2009, but I thought LinkedIn at the time in 2009 just wasn't a platform for me. It felt very business-like, a lot of sort of, middle class men in suits on LinkedIn and a lot of recruiters. So I just felt at the time it wasn't a platform for me. And back in 2017, I decided, you know what, let me see what LinkedIn is all about. I was freelancing at the time, and I thought I just needed to generate maybe another client as part of my client base. So I went back on LinkedIn in 2017, and oh my gosh, the landscape of LinkedIn had completely changed. I was seeing it wasn't just a platform about recruiters, but I saw people who were CEOs, entrepreneurs, job seekers on LinkedIn, and they were putting out what we call content on LinkedIn, something that, again, I wasn't very familiar with at the time. So in 2017, I thought I'm going to give this platform a bit of a go. I'm going to tell people who I am and what I'm about, i.e. who I am as in professionally. I'm a trainer, and I just wanted to generate just one client actually on LinkedIn. So when I came back in 2017, I came in with less than 200 connections or followers on LinkedIn back then. So I started to gradually put content out on LinkedIn where I was telling people of what I did as a trainer. As Matt said right at the beginning, my area of expertise is vocational training and education, as well as delivering training on employability skills. So I started to talk about that and literally demonstrating my key skills and abilities, as well as my knowledge and experience. And then I began to put content out, and literally that's how it started back in 2017. And then I found out very quickly, within 6 weeks, I started to build a little network. But even within that, within 6 weeks, I got a DM from somebody I wasn't connected to, and who said they really, my content kept coming up on their feed, and they would like me to come and do some work for them. And I thought, okay, is this sort of like a trick thing? So anyway, we booked a Zoom call at the time, and before you know it, I was in South Africa, Saudi Arabia, South Africa. I was in Saudi Arabia delivering training, and this was from somebody I wasn't connected to on LinkedIn. They just started to see what I was doing in terms of me being a trainer. I was evidencing it, and they liked what they saw, booked a Zoom call, and within weeks, I was in Saudi Arabia delivering training for 3 weeks. While I was in Saudi Arabia, I started to put out more content about what I was actually doing in Saudi Arabia. And on the way back from Saudi Arabia, so on my 3rd week back from Saudi Arabia, a good friend of mine who was a pilot was living in Oman, and he told me to come and spend the weekend in Oman. And I said to him, I said, Greg, I've been in Saudi Arabia, I've been having to wear hijab and abaya for 3 weeks. No, I'm done with the Middle East, I want to go home. And he said, Oman is nothing like Saudi Arabia, just come for the weekend. I thought, fine. So I went to Oman that Friday, and spent literally the whole of Saturday with him. And Oman just blew my mind. There was something about that country that just, it's people, just the beauty of the country. And I just said to Greg at the time, we went for lunch by the marina, you know, the gorgeous waters. And I said to him, I said, Greg, I would love to come and do some work out here. That's all I did. I just put it out there in the universe that I wanted to come and do some work out here in Oman. I spent a lovely day with Greg on the Saturday. I fly back into London on the Sunday. And the following week, I get another DM from, again, somebody I wasn't connected to on LinkedIn. And again, who had said, oh, I loved what you did in Saudi Arabia. I have some potential work for you. Can we meet in London? So I said, fine. He said he was flying in from Malaysia. So we meet in London, have a meeting, and he's telling me about this project. So, you know, we're talking for about 40 minutes, and he said, yes, it's something very similar to what you did in Saudi Arabia. I think you'll be the perfect person for it. And I said, yeah, absolutely fine. I'm all excited. Then I asked him, I said, where is this project going to be? And you're not going to believe it. He said, Oman. And I was in total shock. I was like, you are kidding me. I said, I've just literally spent a weekend in Oman. I said to my friend, I'd love to do some work out here. And here you are telling me that I have a project to go and deliver training in Oman. So this was in 2018. For the whole of 2018, for every single month, I was on a plane to Oman to deliver training. And again, this all came about from LinkedIn, just by me putting out content, demonstrating my skills and my abilities. And here I was now literally building up air miles on Oman Air, because I was traveling every single month for the whole of 2018. While I was delivering training in Oman in 2018, I got this opportunity where I was literally headhunted and offered a 2-year contract to come and work and live in Oman. So in 2019, I relocated to Oman and spent 2.5 years out there. And I literally, as I said right at the beginning, just flew back from amazing 2.5 years in Oman. And again, this is an opportunity that came directly through LinkedIn. I always share this story because it's so important to let people know that if I could do it just by putting out content and by demonstrating my key skills and by engaging with the right people on LinkedIn, then the possibilities are endless. not only have I been able to get a 2.5-year contract in Oman, I've delivered in Singapore, again, from a connection on LinkedIn who just liked what I did. And again, all expenses paid, trip to Singapore to go and guest speak and talk about my journey and everything I know about LinkedIn. I mean, it doesn't seem real, but it is. I deliver a lot of webinars, I work with a lot of clients, and this is passive income on top of what I do as a freelance trainer. So as I keep telling people, the opportunities are endless. So let us then, what I then need to find out is, hopefully all of you have a LinkedIn account. And if you haven't, this is the best time of the year to have one, because millions, as I said, are joining LinkedIn. But millions, just like people who go to the gym, it's going to, there's going to be a lot of enthusiasm with people wanting to go on LinkedIn. They all sign up and yes, I'm ready to go. I'm motivated. And by the end of January, everything dies a sudden death and nothing is done with your LinkedIn. So people like me are here to guide you. And I've only got a small window. I've only got about 40 minutes. So I'm going to try and keep things very, very simple, but at high level on what you need to do to get you started. So LinkedIn is a business networking platform. It makes profit by showing your content, okay? And to attract the attention of actually the figures changed to over 760 million global audience. And about 40% of this audience access LinkedIn every single day. So that means 40% of 760 million people are actually active on LinkedIn 24/7. And of course, LinkedIn is available in 24 different languages. Making a good first impression on LinkedIn starts with a good profile page. And this is what I always say to my new clients coming onto LinkedIn is, it's all about getting your profile page to be fit for purpose. There's no point in starting off or registering on LinkedIn and then you're engaging with different sets of people and your profile page is a bit of a mess. Because if you are on LinkedIn to generate leads or to look for a job, then there needs to be a point of reference for people to come and check you out. So they come and check you out by coming to check your profile page. And that's why it's so important to have your profile page fit for purpose. So what do we do? The main reason to complete your profile is to ensure that you will appear on LinkedIn search. And that could be for any reason. For recruiters, again, it makes it easier for them to find you. For potential hiring managers, for potential clients who want your services. So this is why we always say, get your profile page fit for purpose. And you have to start off with what we call your LinkedIn banner, okay? So here is mine. If you come onto LinkedIn and you connect with me, this is what you're going to see. I'm a trainer, so I'm all about learning, unlearning, and relearning, okay? And this is what we're talking about, having a clear banner that sells you, your product, or your services. People like me know when you're new to LinkedIn, when you haven't even got a banner. So usually LinkedIn give you what we call a generic background. So when people I see on LinkedIn, I go, yes, they're probably a newbie or they haven't got their profile page fit for purpose. For LinkedIn, you must have between 3 to 5 hashtags within a post. Okay, and again, I'll talk about that a little later. And have a unique hashtag or hashtags specific to your industry. So like I said, right at the beginning, my hashtag is hashtag Stellalicious, which my network have now really bought into. Hashtag Stellalicious, it really has become my brand on LinkedIn. So people really, as soon as they see that, they can identify, they know it's me. And my second hashtag, obviously, is keep it Stellaliciously simple. And maybe my third hashtag is always based on what I'm talking about in content. So if I'm giving tips on resumes, for example, I might say hashtag resume tips. So again, it's really important to have 3 strong hashtags within your profile. Start thinking about your brand on LinkedIn. What we need to do is, obviously, as I said, when you're on LinkedIn, you need to have what we call your profile page. And on your profile page, we have what we call your headline. So your headline is the box that comes under your name. So I have my name, Stella de Silva, and your headline gives, again, people an idea of what it is you do. Okay, and you don't want to sound too generic, because like everything else, like your CVs, your resumes, LinkedIn has the same principle of what is it that is going to make you stand out from the crowd. So I'm a trainer, right? And I know that there are millions and millions of trainers worldwide, globally, who are on LinkedIn, probably doing something very, very similar to me. So what can I do to make me stand out from the other trainers that are going to draw clients to me? That's what I need to be thinking about every time I'm on LinkedIn. And that is the same principle when you are thinking about doing your profile page. So on your headline, I've got here, international trainer with clappers in tow. Okay. Now, when I deliver training on face-to-face, I always take my clappers. This is an example of clappers. And in my workshops, I'm a very informal trainer. So everybody has a clapper. Okay, so that really has become part of me. And I know for the millions of trainers that are on LinkedIn, they probably don't use clappers in their sessions. So that's something that makes me stand out from the crowd. Okay, and I'm all about delivering employability skills. As I've said, I'm all about aha light bulb moments. That's very much part of who I am as a trainer. So that's what I'm trying to tell people or potential clients right at my headline. So you've got to think of ways to capture whoever your audience is, that when they see your profile, they are drawn to want to read more about you. Okay, so again, these are the kind of things that you need to think about when you are writing your headline. It represents your core values, your expertise, and your personal branding. I'm really sort of rushing into this because I'm trying to get, I'm trying to do the basics at very, very high level. The plus sign on your profile, on your photo, is an opportunity for you to do a 30-second video clip to tell us a bit about you. Okay, so again, LinkedIn rolled out this feature last year, and it gives people the opportunity to do a 30-second video just to tell your audience who you are and what you do. And again, you have a choice to do it and a choice not to do it. It's not forced. Okay, by your name, you've got a loudspeaker. Again, this is to pronounce your name. So if you have a name that is difficult to pronounce or people might struggle with, you might want to give them a pronunciation of what your name is. And that is 10 seconds. My name is fairly straightforward. So I've used that 10 seconds to say something about, to just explain what it is I do. So I think I said something along the lines that I'm Stella de Silva and I'm here delivering employability skills. Anything that you can fit in within 10 seconds, you do that on the loudspeaker. So again, you've got little features that again makes you stand out from the crowd. And so many people have been so clever with their 30-second cover stories. You can do what you want. You can be as creative as you want to obviously sell you and your brand. Then on your LinkedIn page, so we've talked about having your banner, having your photo, have a nice smiley picture of yourself, a clean background, and as part of your LinkedIn profile, you have what we call your about section, okay? And this is where you're really trying to draw in the client or the employer, okay? So you need to really tell us or tell your audience what it is you do. And so what problems do you solve? Okay, so I work in employability skills, for example. So straight away, I'm like, do you need your CV to pop? Do you need help with your CV? If the answer is going to be yes, then the chances are that person is going to read more about what it is I can do, because I'm telling you, you have a problem and I'm there to solve it. So that is what your about section is all about. A lot of mistakes that people do on their about section is to write their achievements and their accomplishments, which is all well and good. But the main thing is, what value can you bring to an employer, if you're looking for a job or you're looking to change careers? So what value can you bring, and what evidence have you got to show that you are the right person for the job? So that's how you then talk about your accomplishments. So you're talking about facts and figures. You really have to document and evidence what it is you have done in your about section. So that's what you need to do. And lastly, you have to do what we have a CTA, a call to action. How can people contact you? Is it by email? Is it if you've got a website? These are the times that you then put your email address and your website details on your about section as part of your call to action. Then within your LinkedIn profile is more of marketing space, okay? You're advertising your products, you're advertising your services, you're advertising the fact that you are looking for a job. So you've got to provide the necessary evidence for your audience to see that you are the right person for them to either deliver a service or to buy a product from. So again, you have a featured section on your profile page. And again, this is another advert board for you. It's a point of reference for potential clients or hiring managers or recruiters to come and see what it is you actually do. So I always tell job seekers, for example, if you are active on LinkedIn, it makes common sense that you put your LinkedIn URL on your CV or your resume, because potential employers can then come to your LinkedIn in your about section, in your featured section, to then see what other evidence you can provide to them that you cannot put on your CV. So again, I'm able to generate a lot of leads from clients because I have a point of reference for them on LinkedIn to come and see the kind of work that I do. So that is absolutely key when you're thinking about your LinkedIn profile. Put content that sells you, your products, and your services, and it positions you as an expert in your field or industry. Now, this guy here that I've put, he's on my features. And he did a brilliant testimonial about me, okay? Now, this is brilliant. It gives me credibility to my potential clients, that they can go and listen to what this guy is saying about me and the work that I do. And again, for all of you who are listening in, I really strongly recommend that you follow this guy. His name is John Espirian, Espirian, John Espirian. And again, he's like a LinkedIn geek. He does so much research about LinkedIn. He shares a lot of tips on how to use the platform. He is my absolute go-to when I'm stuck on anything LinkedIn. If I've got a problem with videoing or going on lives or doing a podcast or anything, I guarantee you this guy, John Esperian, has done some sort of research. So again, when you connect to people like myself, I can then introduce you and connect you with other great connections. For example, John Esperian. And again, he's on my featured on my LinkedIn profile. So you can also go and watch what he says about different people. He normally gives out Friday shout outs to connections on LinkedIn. So again, he will recommend that this is one person to absolutely follow in whatever industry. So this is another way of then gradually building your network on LinkedIn. Recommendations, okay, are absolute key on your LinkedIn profile. I'm a trainer, I deliver training. So there must have been people that I've delivered training to that can highly recommend my services. So once this session has been completed, I'm definitely going to be asking Matt to give me a recommendation, because again, it will draw potential clients to see what I actually do and what I have done and what my clients are saying about me. So again, if you are on LinkedIn, it gives you that bit more credibility to have recommendations. And it could be recommendations from your boss if you're working. It could be recommendations from colleagues. It could be recommendation from connections. So there are ways of generating good recommendations on your LinkedIn profile that gives you that bit more credibility. And again, potential clients, potential recruiters really like this feature on LinkedIn and use it. So when they go onto your LinkedIn page, they're more likely to go and check for recommendations. So again, if you're new to LinkedIn, if you're in a full-time job, for example, if your boss or colleagues are on LinkedIn, this is a really, really good time to ask them to give you a recommendation so that you could put it on your LinkedIn page. So recommendations are a way of giving written confirmation of your support for a product or service provider you are connected to on LinkedIn, and recommendations add to your credibility as a product or service provider. Okay, so it's really, really important that you have recommendations on your LinkedIn page. Once your page has been completed, you're now really ready to then go and create your post. But what I do say is spend some time really making your profile page really fit for purpose. Because as I said, if you're just putting out posts and people resonate with your post and they want to go and check you out, but there's nothing on your LinkedIn profile, then you may lose potential clients, you may lose that opportunity for getting a job. So it's really important you get that phase of your LinkedIn strategy done first. Then you can start thinking about creating a post. And your very first post, especially for those who are starting on LinkedIn, is to start with who you are, what you do, and why people should follow you. Literally start off with introducing you to us. What is it about you that is going to make me want to maybe press that follow connection, or actually request for you to be connected to me? That's what we want to see when you're creating a post. Now, people are in a situation now where there are so many people who just want to create this viral type post. So they'll just put in a video that doesn't, resonate or doesn't align with their core values, doesn't align with their business, but they just want a video and they just want it to go viral, which is absolutely fine. But is that going to get you that job? Is that going to get you that client? So again, LinkedIn shouldn't be about thinking about generating so many thousands of views. If you have a good post, people resonate with, they are going to engage with it and they will come back for more. And that's how you gradually start to build on your views and your numbers. Okay. And let me tell you this now. The posts that have generated me money, i.e. the posts that have generated me a return on investment, are the posts that probably get the less engagement, okay? So again, what I'm trying to say is when I'm putting out posts about training, then usually it's targeted to a particular audience. So a potential client might see that post and they might offer me a contract that is going to pay me a hell of a lot of money than if I just put a post of a cat dancing and doing funny tricks. Okay, so that's what you need to think about. And that is what LinkedIn is all about. It's about what it is you're doing because you want to generate a return on investment on your presence being on LinkedIn. Otherwise, you can spend absolutely hours and hours just going through different posts, maybe engaging in a few posts, and you get nothing in return. And then you get very frustrated. And like the gym, by the end of January, you just give up. So LinkedIn gives you the opportunity to create content in different ways. And you've got to find what suits you the best, okay? Don't think about other people and their successes on LinkedIn. You've got to think about what your intentions are on LinkedIn and what's going to work for you. So again, something I always tell my clients about LinkedIn is it's not about, trying to copy and paste and be like everybody else, but what works for you. And another thing I always say is one size doesn't fit all. Okay, so what might work for me on LinkedIn might not work for you on LinkedIn. You've got to find what it is you're about and what you like on LinkedIn. So the ways to create content on LinkedIn, you could do it through articles. I collaborate with connections on articles on LinkedIn that do really, really well. You can do newsletters. You could use videos. So again, if you're very confident and you want to share tips about your industry, you can do nothing more than 3-minute long videos. Always add captions to your videos because again, there are people with disabilities who may need captions. You can create polls on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn polls are really, really popular. You can use text. I'm a lover of words, so I use a lot of text. When I use videos, I'm inspired by other people's videos, and I use other people's videos to create content, and that works brilliantly. Another way of creating content is obviously applying for a live from LinkedIn, which then gives you the possibility of, creating your own podcast and inviting guests. I go on so many different LinkedIn lives. I'm always constantly invited to come on and do podcasts with various connections as well. And of course, you can use what we call carousels or LinkedIn sliders. And carousels, the best resource for you to do carousels or sliders is Canva, Canva. And Canva really is a easy tool. I'm not I have no interest in, being creative technology wise, but Canva really is that simple. It allows you to create brilliant carousels and sliders. So these are ways that you can put content out. The one thing I'm going to say about content is LinkedIn loves you to be consistent, okay? So if you are ready to be on LinkedIn, like the gym, you've got to commit to LinkedIn. You've got to be consistent on LinkedIn. And what I mean by consistent is this: if you're going to put out content, if you're going to put out posts maybe twice a week, then be consistent at putting out posts twice a week. If you're going to put out posts every day, be consistent in putting out posts every single day. LinkedIn doesn't like it when you're not consistent, because the moment that the algorithm catches that you're not consistent, then it's not going to open your content to your network, let alone open it out to everybody else. So LinkedIn and consistency are two words that go together, okay? And when we're talking about content, we're talking about engage, engage, engage. But think before you make a comment. So if someone's post really resonates with you, say, example, I put out a post and it really resonates with you, think about what it is that you're going to say back about what I have put out. And things like great share, thanks for sharing, great post, does nothing for me, the poster, and does absolutely nothing for you, okay? So what you want to start thinking about, especially if you want to start catching my attention, is to really engage with me on my content, okay? What value, what are your thoughts based on what I've written about? That's what we want to see. And again, that's how you capture potential clients and potential recruiters or hiring managers. So for example, if Matt put out a post on LinkedIn and I want to maybe attract his audience, I will put something of value based on his post, because I want his audience to see what it is that I've actually written. So those are the kind of comments that we want on LinkedIn. So think about what comment you're going to make. Why am I actually commenting? What value will my comment add to that post? What are your feelings? What are your thoughts? And of course, be constructive, even when your opinion differs. So again, you are totally entitled to have your own opinions. We can't always agree with everything, but it's in the manner in which you communicate your disagreement is the most important thing. We need to talk about LinkedIn algorithms. And again, the more you put out posts, the more you engage, the more you begin to train the LinkedIn algorithm. So if you start engaging with me, for example, then you will start seeing my content on your feed, okay? On LinkedIn, LinkedIn doesn't like you sharing posts, okay? So if you like my post so much that you want your network to see it, rather than share my post, because all you're doing is then opening up your network to me, rather than just share my post, LinkedIn would like you to just summarize what you read about my post that you like and make your own content, because then people are more likely to engage. LinkedIn just doesn't like sharing different posts, because I've got an audience or a network of over 50,000 people. So that means that quite a lot of people have already seen that post. LinkedIn don't then want to keep sharing it and sharing it and sharing it. Okay, so you've got to think about also training the LinkedIn algorithm, and you train the LinkedIn algorithm by being consistent on LinkedIn and not sharing other people's posts. Okay. Putting external links in your content is, you can. So if you've got a YouTube channel, for example, it's better to put that external link maybe in the comment section, because again, LinkedIn, for obvious reason, doesn't want you to go to YouTube. It wants you to stay on LinkedIn. So again, you have to sort of know the tricks and the trades of LinkedIn algorithms. And again, John Espirian, the guy I mentioned earlier, he's the go-to, because he has done different, he's tested and done different experiments on how you can share links, for example, without damaging your engagement views on LinkedIn. The last thing I'm going to say on LinkedIn is it's okay to have fun. It's not about you being always serious. It's okay to post about anything you want on LinkedIn. Ignore the LinkedIn police, or the naysayers, as I call them, who will put out something after you've put out content and said, this belongs on Facebook. Anything goes on LinkedIn as long as you meet their terms of service. You can post about absolutely anything you like. You'll get a few naysayers who will come and say, this belongs on Facebook. It's a personal post. I always say I always put out professional content, but I also put out personal content because it humanizes me, and people resonate with a lot of your personal content. And there's a difference between being personal and being private. And I think that's where people need to know what the balance is on what it is they're putting out as content, especially when they're talking about their personal personal lives. So again, as I said, anything goes on LinkedIn. Ignore those people who say it belongs on Facebook. If you go back on my LinkedIn headline, it says I'm a troll slayer. And these are the kind of people I know how to deal with on LinkedIn. And there are other ways of dealing with them. You can easily block them. If they're being abusive, if they're being aggressive, you can always escalate it, report it to LinkedIn. And of course, if they're being threatening, then it's a criminal offense. You can escalate it further to the police, for example. So don't be put off by people or naysayers telling you to do something that they don't feel comfortable with. If you're happy with your content and you abide by the terms of service from LinkedIn, then anything goes on LinkedIn. Be mindful of your digital footprints. And this I always say to people who are who are job seekers, who are looking for work, or for those of us who are looking for clients. I try and avoid being political on LinkedIn, even though I have my own views. So again, be very, very careful of what it is, because sometimes you can't take it back. So as a potential employer, what will I find if I was to check you out digitally? So these are the kind of things that I'm always telling my clients to be very, very mindful of when they're putting out content on LinkedIn and on social media in general. So again, this is at very, very high level, the simple basics of getting you started on LinkedIn. The most important thing on LinkedIn is that you get your profile page fit for purpose, okay? Go and look at other people and what they've done with their banners. Go and read about other people, their about section, their featured section. Please do not copy and paste, okay? Because again, that just wouldn't make you stand out from anybody else. Bring something unique about us. Tell us something unique about you in your about section. And then you can start watching your network and start building your network, and it will start to grow. As I said right at the beginning, I started with less than 200 followers way back in 2009. When I came back in 2017, I have organically built a network of over 50,000 followers on LinkedIn. And I make a good passive income from clients who come to me from LinkedIn, who want me to deliver training either virtually or actually travel internationally to go and deliver training. Okay, so again, this is how I make my income. So LinkedIn is a real platform for you to either get work, for you to generate your leads, for you to sell your products, for you to sell your services, but you must have what we call a good LinkedIn strategy. Otherwise, you won't get any return on investment. Matt, I hope I've done 40 minutes. I might have gone a bit over. So if you've got any questions from the panel, please let me know. I know I've done a lot of talking.
do you want to say something about that slide, Stella?
Yes, so the last slide is, yeah, we've come to the end. I'm thanking everybody for listening to me. If you're on your desktop and you've got your phones, please go to the QR code straight away, and then you can connect with me on LinkedIn directly, or there is my LinkedIn URL. And again, for those who are just coming onto LinkedIn, your URL, LinkedIn will give you a generic URL, as in your address. You need to go out and personalize it. Otherwise, it looks as if you've got a set of prison numbers after your LinkedIn URL. So it's always good to personalize your LinkedIn URL, which you can do in settings. So that is a way to contact me on LinkedIn.
Brilliant stuff. Oh, Stella, it's really fabulous. I mean, what a jam-packed session you've just delivered. Thank you for spending that time, giving us such a resource and treasure trove of insights and practical tips. Thank you so much. There's been some comments coming in. Yinka is on here. Yes, Queen Stella, she says. Isaac Tendo, very inspiring. If there are any questions from anyone, please do feel free to post in. There are no specific questions right now. I think people are just blown away, Stella, by what I think you've probably covered it. I think you've just nailed LinkedIn.
I think what it is, Matt, is that this kind of session is literally a whole day session. And when you told me you've got 40 minutes, I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this in 40 minutes? And hopefully get people to be inspired to at least come and try the platform. Because as I said earlier on, if you are looking for a job, the recruiter, the hiring managers, CEOs, decision makers, you can connect with them directly. So you bypass HR sometimes, you bypass sometimes sending your CV. If you're able to demonstrate key skills, there are people who will come straight to you and go, you seem to be the right person for me. I'm living proof of that. I got a job in Oman without a CV, for crying out loud. It was just by me being on LinkedIn, demonstrating my skills, demonstrating my knowledge, giving out tips, supporting people. They loved it. And, I was in the Middle East for 2.5 years. So, the opportunities are endless on LinkedIn.
It's so good. Someone's just posted following on LinkedIn, and we'll be in touch around LinkedIn stuff. So, look, Stella, you have been such a blessing to us. You have been such an encouragement, and thank you for giving us your time, your support. We're really grateful to you.